Hello and welcome to the Angus Report, a news program geared toward cattle producers. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Paige Wallace. From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including a report on drought conditions and long-term effects on the cattle business.
Livestock groups are asking federal agencies to waive the renewable fuel standard for corn-based ethanol production.
We look at the future of the estate tax.
And we provide a recap of the cattle industry summer conference in Denver, Colorado.
This is the Angus Report.
We begin with an issue that's affecting everyone this summer, the drought. The latest National Weather Service data shows widespread drought throughout the U.S. is worsening. Crystal Albers has a special report on that. And Crystal, it's creating big consequences for cattlemen, isn't it?
That's right, Bob. The latest USDA report shows just 24% of the nation's corn crop remains in good to excellent condition. 29% of soybeans ranked in that same category. That's the worst rating for both crops since 1988.
The corn numbers are about equal to what they were in '88 at this point in time, and the soybean numbers are actually a little worse than what they were in '88. So we've seen a rapid deterioration over really 3 or 4 short weeks. Such that we're at least the crop is in similar condition to what it was in 1988. You know, for a typical livestock producer, a poultry producer, feed costs are the single largest component of their overall variable costs.
While the drought wreaks havoc on corn yields and impacts the markets, cattlemen in many areas are seeing the worst pasture conditions in the past 15 years. CattleFacts numbers show 70% of the U.S. cattle herd is located in regions of drought.
With the expanse of this year's drought covering approximately 2/3 of the country, that's increasing the distances that feed has to be brought in. We only have a few areas that are holding on as being green at this point. We have the northwest, portions of the northern tier, and the southeastern U.S. That's the only good pasture we have left at this point.
Forage production is down over a wider area, hay production is down over a wider area, and so we will see, what we're seeing is that when animals are forced to move, and we are certainly seeing that in some regions, that there's really no place for them to go compared to last year, and so we're seeing a much stronger and much quicker market reaction that is pulling these cattle down this summer. We won't know until next year's January report just how much we've preempted the heifer retention. And of course, we're halfway through the year, and again, we've got another half to see just how severe things like cow slaughter in particular, changes as we move through the rest of the year.
We haven't heard the last of the effects of the drought, that's for sure. Thanks, Crystal. As the outlook for the 2012 corn crop dwindles, many livestock groups are urging the EPA to waive federal mandates for corn-based ethanol production. In a petition to the agency, the coalition asks for a waiver of the renewable fuel standard, at least in substantial part, for 1 year. This would decrease the amount of government-mandated ethanol production and relieve escalating corn prices spurred by the worst drought in decades. The current renewable fuel standard requires the production of 13.2 billion gallons of ethanol in 2012 and another 13.8 billion gallons in 2013. Some economists suggest nearly 4 of every 10 bushels of corn harvest this fall will be used to produce ethanol if the current fuel standard remains.
The Farm Bill continues to languish in Washington, but another congressional deadline looms. Legislators have until the end of the year to extend current estate tax standards. If lawmakers fail to act prior to the December 31st deadline, tax rates will default to much higher levels.
If Congress fails to act and fails to pass any extensions or anything with the tax code, then we're going to see our current estate tax exemption level fall from $5 million per individual and $10 million per couple at a tax rate of 35% to a $1 million exemption level at a 55% tax rate.
Industry challenges can't keep Angus enthusiasts away from the National Angus Conference and Tour this fall. The American Angus Association's popular event will be headquartered in Wichita, Kansas, October 3rd through the 5th. Anyone with an interest in Angus cattle may attend the conference and tour, which features informative speakers and stops at Angus ranches across Kansas. Visit angus.org for more information and to save on early registration by the August 20th deadline.
When the Angus Report returns, we highlight the cattle industry summer conference.
But first, an event that helps feeders with a quality focus survive volatile markets.
Visit angus.org to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.